Cletus McFarland just signed himself up for a race where simply being fast may not be enough to survive. On Wednesday, August 12th, Cletus will make his super late model debut at Berlin Raceway in Michigan, and this is not some quiet first start against a field of unfamiliar drivers. He is walking straight into the battle at Berlin, a 250-lap UARA national event featuring some of the strongest short-track racers in the country. And the biggest problem is the track itself. Berlin Raceway is only about 0.437 miles around, but drivers have repeatedly described it as one of the most difficult short tracks to get completely right. Add 250 laps, a $40,000 winner's payout, and a field packed with experienced late model racers, and suddenly, Cletus has a very different challenge in front of him. So what exactly has Cletus gotten himself into? Who will be waiting for him at Berlin? And why could this race tell us a lot about how far his oval racing development has really come? You'll want to watch this one all the way to the end, because once you see who is on the entry list, you'll understand why this could be Cletus McFarland's toughest late model test yet. Now, let's get into it. Cletus McFarland is officially entered for the Tekton 250 Battle at Berlin, which takes place Wednesday, August 12th at Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan. The event is scheduled for 250 laps, and the winner takes home $40,000. Coverage is scheduled to begin at approximately 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with the race available through Ultra Broadcasting. For Cletus, though, the money is not the biggest story. This is about experience. The battle at Berlin will be his first late model start, which makes the challenge even more interesting. He has already spent considerable time developing his skills in other forms of oval racing, but a super late model brings its own demands. And Berlin is not the kind of track where a driver can simply show up, put down a fast lap, and expect everything to work out. Carson Hocevar knows that better than almost anyone. The NASCAR Cup Series driver and multiple-time Berlin winner once explained the track by saying, "There's never been a perfect race car at Berlin. It's just who is the best of the worst in handling." That quote tells you almost everything you need to know. At Berlin, the goal is not necessarily to have a perfect car. The car is going to move around, the handling will change, the tires will become a factor, and drivers have to constantly adapt. That becomes especially important over 250 laps. Cletus will not just be racing against the clock. He will have to manage the car, protect the tires, make adjustments, deal with traffic, and stay out of trouble while drivers around him are fighting for position. And then there is the competition. The current entry list features 30 drivers, and several of them have serious credentials. Ty Majeski is one of the biggest names on the list. He has already won at Berlin this season, taking the Money in the Bank 150, and he also recently won the UARA national race at Golden Sands. Majeski has become one of the drivers to beat whenever these super late model fields come together, so Cletus is not entering a race where the established stars are simply going to move aside. Carson Hocevar is another massive storyline. Hocevar has already won the battle at Berlin, taking the 250-lap event in 2024, and he knows the track extremely well. He is also a NASCAR Cup Series winner, which gives Cletus a pretty interesting benchmark right in the same field. Then there is Bubba Pollard, one of the most respected names in super late model racing. Daniel Webster is also entered after becoming the most recent UARA national winner other than Majeski in 2026, while Gabe Sommers is coming off a runner-up finish at Golden Sands. Tristan McKee is another driver worth watching. He is scheduled to move up to the NASCAR Truck Series division just days after Berlin, making this another important opportunity for him to prove himself against experienced late model competition. One more thing makes this race even more difficult. Cletus will have very little room for error during the long green flag runs. At a track this tight, getting trapped behind another car or losing momentum for just a few laps can quickly cost several positions. That pressure will build as the race goes on. That is a serious field for somebody making his first late model start, But Cletus is not coming into this completely unprepared. His oval racing development has already taken several steps forward this year. According to the report, Cletus McFarland has made 8 starts in the ARCA Menard Series, 2 in the ARCA Menard Series East, 2 in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and 2 in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And there have been some very encouraging moments. Cletus has led 25 laps in ARCA competition this season. At Talladega, he led 19 laps before finishing second, and later at Michigan, he led 6 laps after starting from the pole. Those results matter because they show that Cletus is not simply jumping into different cars for attention. He is gradually building actual racing experience. But the Berlin Challenge is different. At Talladega, the draft can play a huge role. At Michigan, speed and track position are major factors. Berlin is a short, technical bullring where the driver has to understand exactly what the car is doing underneath him. And that is where this race becomes fascinating. Cletus has the personality and fan base to bring enormous attention to the event, but once the green flag drops, none of that matters. And Berlin definitely does not care. That is why this race could be one of the most revealing moments of Cletus's racing development. If he can qualify well, stay competitive through the opening stages, manage the car over 250 laps, and run near experienced drivers without getting caught in somebody else's trouble, that would be a major step forward. And if he surprises everyone with a strong finish, Cletus is not just coming for one race and leaving Michigan. He is scheduled to remain at Berlin Raceway for his own motorsports weekend on August 14th and 15th, including the launch of his new late model series. That means the battle at Berlin is essentially the first major test before Cletus begins another chapter of his own racing operation. Short Track Scene previously reported that his inaugural late model series event at Berlin will pay $20,000 to win and will use the same UARA rules package. So Wednesday is more than just another race on Cletus's schedule. It is a chance to learn the track, understand the car, compete against some of the best super late model drivers around, and take that experience into the weekend. And that makes his decision to enter the battle at Berlin even more interesting. He could have started his late model journey somewhere less intimidating. Instead, he chose one of the biggest and most competitive events on the calendar. Cletus does not need to win this race for it to be successful. But if he can somehow find himself fighting with drivers like Hocevar, Majeski, Pollard, Webster, Sommers, and the rest of this deep field late in the race, then Berlin could become one of the biggest statements of his racing career. And Cletus McFarland is about to find out exactly where he stands in super late model racing. So now the question is simple. Can Cletus survive 250 laps at Berlin and prove that he is ready for this level of competition? We are about to find out. For all the latest NASCAR and racing news, this is NASCAR Nation News. Make sure you subscribe and stay locked in because this Berlin race could be the beginning of something much bigger for Cletus McFarland.